the One Big Tip podcast. And my guest today is Jen McKee, owner and founder of Key Heart Marketing. Jen helps B2C companies create brand awareness, generate leads, and increase conversion rates using social media. With a heavy focus on TikTok, Key Heart Marketing has proven methods that will grow your revenue and brand reach. Jen relies heavily on TikTok for proven results due to the high engagement rate and the ability to show up authentically for your audience using reels and videos. When you connect with your audience, it makes conversions occur naturally. This is going to be a great conversation today because I'm going to be the first to raise my hand and be like, I don't use TikTok for that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm probably really behind the times, but I'm just really excited to talk about this. Jen, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm super excited. I'm even more excited that you have questions because there's so many people, even in the digital marketing space like yourself, who are just like not quite going that direction yet. So it's fun to talk about.
All right. So listen, I would like to learn a little bit more about your background, what makes you tick, right? And how you got into this. Like, how did you fall into this part versus, the other social media channels that are out there? Like, what makes you so awesome with this?
Yeah. So I decided to start focusing on TikTok probably about it was about a year ago. Even more than that, a year and a half ago, like shortly after the pandemic started, that's really when TikTok actually took off as an app and the user base started to kind of evolve from a very, very young user base into more people in their 20s and 30s. And I was like, what is going on over here? And so I started just kind of doing my own testing. I was already doing social media, focusing on Facebook and Instagram. I focus on the more organic content, so the non-paid content versus the paid content, although we do some of that. But I had a client say, like, I want to be on everything. I want to be on TikTok. And I was like, great. I'm testing over at TikTok right now. So let's do it. Let's put you on it. And we have gotten some of our best results with them. It's been really, really fun. They're super open to testing. And since then, we've been able to actually completely kind of switch over to where we are only taking on clients who are bringing on that short form video content because we've seen what great results it gets.
So I'd like to ask you a few questions about this then, right? So
Okay.
how are the TikTok reels and the TikTok videos different than what came before them? Meaning Instagram and Snapchat, right? So it just felt like Snapchat was just had its own playing field, and then
Yeah.
Instagram came in to eat their lunch, and then TikTok comes out and just reigns supreme on top of everybody. How did all that come
Yeah.
about, and how did you identify like which one is a better fit for your clients?
Yeah. So, okay, I know kind of exactly what you're talking about. And I think with Snapchat, the and like I don't even know if this is it, but the videos were like a little bit too raw. They didn't last long enough. Like there was no I think that was really it. Okay, they didn't last long enough. They were only 24 hours long. And so although like you can throw in a quick commercial, that doesn't really give you a lot of opportunity to continue getting traction on content that's being created. So Instagram had IGTV, which it never prioritized, and then stories, which had the same, they brought in after Snapchat, same thing, 24-hour live. And then when TikTok came on, which of course came from Vine, so it's not like it created, out of nowhere. It was shorter videos than YouTube, easier to consume. And I think that the way that the videos are consumed are so addicting. People spend, the average user spends 52 minutes a day on TikTok. So there's a lot of really short content being consumed on that app, thinking, that the videos at the most can be 3 minutes. Most of them are less than 30 seconds. And the algorithm easily molds to the user. So right now, there is a lot of users, not as much content. It's a great place to be seen. And I'm not quite sure that I answered your question because I think I went in a couple directions there. But
No, actually, that's a really good point that you bring up. Like, so for example, in our family, we like to cook, right?
Yeah.
So my daughters always send me these demonstration videos on either great restaurants, in the area where we live, or demonstrations of how to use, of how to use of how to use a product. And this can be as mundane as soy sauce, right?
Yeah.
Where it's, where people are using it, and like, hey, here are the 15 ways you can use soy sauce, and then with a few quick edits, you can really get a lot of information across in a very short amount of time, right? One
Yeah.
of the things, though, that I'm really curious about, though, is how to increase the engagement on those. So I know that it's not just the fancy editing, that makes
No.
it happen, because a lot of these people are just doing this on their phones, right? They're not,
Exactly.
they're not doing this in Final Cut Pro or in Premiere. They're just
Yeah.
making these, like you said, kind of raw, but they're also making it really authentic. And I think that's one of the core points here is the authenticity of it all, right?
Hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about how a B2C company can be authentic and promote their stuff, and to increase engagement at the same time? Because it almost feels like like you got to be really great at these things in order to do well. But if there's a large enough audience out there, maybe you don't need to be 100% polished. You can be a little bit raw and still get great results. How does that look, like in your space?
Yeah. So I feel like that was a lot of questions. So if I miss one, just let me know.
Not a
But
problem.
uh number one, like the authenticity of, okay, I'm gonna actually start with you saying like they don't have to be polished, like they're doing this with their phone. So that's kind of like the draw to it, right? So we saw Instagram become this like very it's very focused on aesthetic. And as a business, businesses don't always fit into like an aesthetic, right? And so it is, plus it's hard to get any sort of traction on Instagram. So on TikTok, it's kind of like the opposite of that. And we see that huge difference in between TikTok and Reels now. But with TikTok, it's like the best videos are people like sitting in their car telling you this like random story that just happened to them, or this thought that they just had. And so taking that into consideration, taking into consideration that TikTok is also really it's like a nuanced community. There's kind of like these inside jokes, right? It's like a meme community. And so the way that the memes work are videos put with sounds, and everybody understands the sound. And then like how you create a picture meme where you add text to it that's relevant to whatever it is that you're talking about. You do the same thing with a TikTok. So you take the trending sound, you add your video to it, and you add text that's relevant to your ideal customer. That still allows you to be, put your branding, your face, your product or service, and then be also a part of the TikTok community. That's how we get a lot of engagement. We also get engagement by thinking about, topics in our clients' industry that might be considered a little bit controversial. And like, I'm not talking about like, politics or religion, but things like we work with an HVAC company, and we put out a video that said that you shouldn't like when you get home, like ramp up your furnace whenever you get home, and then like put it way down whenever you leave, because it actually ends up costing you more money. Like, so many people had an opinion on that, and so we get all of these people engaging with our video, both agreeing and disagreeing with us, because we were able to hit on a topic that a lot of people had an opinion on, and it also aligned with our customer.
You know what's interesting about that? You mentioned an HVAC company, right? And I would have to imagine that that is probably one of the less sexier businesses to be in,
Right.
right? Because it's like, how can you make air conditioning interesting, right? And I'm not just talking about, people, just walking around pointing at air, type things, but you really can use this platform to get some serious information across, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that I find interesting as well, and you mentioned this a little bit in the pre-call, is that a lot of a lot of major businesses, news organizations, serious companies, publicly traded companies are migrating to TikTok as well. Can you talk a little bit about what's the draw for them and why it's not just for a community for millennials to just publish short videos? Like it really does have a serious side that can be monetized at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you mentioned it when you said how you use TikTok. Like it is I think the reason that it's so addicting is not just because it's entertaining, but because we also feel like we're getting value from it whenever we're watching it, right? And so you're getting value from the videos that you're seeing that are teaching you something, and then you're also getting social value because you share that with people that you know would find it interesting or find it relatable. And so I think companies of all types are on there, able to either connect with their community, build the like, know, and trust factor, and then also share information the same way that we've been sharing value on social media from the beginning. And so you see news organizations are sharing their stories via Facebook, they're sharing them via Instagram, and then now they're having to figure out how to pivot and share their information on TikTok so that they're still able to get in front of people, still able to share whatever it is that they're trying to get out there.
One of the things that's really interesting for me is, the audience that you can attract and that you can talk to on these different platforms. So, really in order to be a really engaging brand, or, even for someone that's, like up and coming, a lot of what they drill into us is that you only need 1,000 true fans, right? 1,000 people on your list, and those are the people that you can market to, like for coaches and for other types of digital entrepreneurs. You don't necessarily need this massive audience in order to in order to make it big. Now, with some of the older platforms, right? Older, geez, now I'm dating myself, right? Like Facebook and Instagram, right? It has been much harder in order to capture that market, right? Simply because there are so many more users on it, the way the algorithm changes, and the way things pop up in your feed, you can't necessarily rely on the platform to promote for you.
Yeah,
Rather,
no.
you need to come up with something either incredibly viral or you got to pay for it,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
One
Hmm.
of the two. How does that look different on the TikTok side? And do you think that TikTok's gonna go that way sometime soon as well?
Yeah, that's actually why we prioritize TikTok. TikTok is our place to get in front of more followers, to get higher reach. On, like you mentioned, on Facebook and Instagram, not only are you only getting in front of people that follow you, but you're only getting in front of a fraction of the people that follow you. Whereas on TikTok, what you scroll on is called your For You page. It's not even auto set to your followers, it's auto set to your For You page. And you're constantly served content based on what the algorithm has determined that you like. So when I look at videos for our clients that get some sort of virality to it, it's of course all people who are seeing us from the For You page. That window of opportunity isn't going to be there forever. It's only there right now because we're still in the early adopter phase. We're still, the advertisements on TikTok just became like something that people could afford. There was, even not that long ago, you had to spend $50 a day on TikTok ads. Now you can spend whatever. Before that, it was, only for the big players that could actually run ads on TikTok. So advertising is just now making its way onto the platform. People are still not comfortable with creating on TikTok, and so they're just consuming. And so, if you think about, a lot of people will start their business, and the first thing that they do is create a Facebook or an Instagram, probably even before they create a website. So every single business is already on Facebook and Instagram. TikTok is an afterthought. TikTok is like the icing on the cake. And so because there's less advertisers, because there's less creators, because there's new users coming over every day, there is huge opportunity for organic growth and organic reach. And that is definitely not going to be there for very much longer.
What an awesome thought. I'm also, curious as to what's going to be coming after that, right?
I
Because,
know.
if you think back, actually not too long ago, Clubhouse, everyone was talking about
Yeah.
it. I,
Yeah.
I don't think, I haven't heard about it in 6 months already, right?
I
And I'm just
know.
like, all right, yeah, that fizzled out, but it was supposed to be this unicorn. It was supposed to, be great. But
Yeah.
then again, it's like, well, who wants to just listen to audio all day long? I want to see,
Yeah.
I want to see movement.
There was so much of a
Um,
commitment to Clubhouse. I think that's why it kind of fell off.
Yeah, it was really something that you needed to concentrate on and just focus down, and you couldn't crank it out easily, right?
Yeah.
You had to seriously dedicate to it. I think even more so than any of the other channels, and I think that's also part of
Yeah.
why it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's move on from that.
Yeah. We can't stay there forever.
Um,
I don't have 8 hours a day.
exactly. And from a business perspective, it always felt like listening to conference calls, and sometimes it
Yeah.
could get pretty rowdy. So it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Um, can you talk a little bit, maybe pick out like one or two wins that your company has been able to achieve for your clients using this platform? One of the things that I think about when I'm working with clients is how can I talk in their voice, right? And I'm
Yeah.
curious as to how you're able to get in and either help them create their own voice or talk in their voice for them. How does that look? And what kind of wins have you brought for your clients so far?
Yeah, so the video creation process is definitely a collaborative process. And it's something that we're constantly testing because that is one of the biggest challenges, right? Luckily, people that want to work with us are excited and understand that that is something that we're going to be testing different ways. So we do direct them in some ways. We do create content like the thing is too is that we can get just like basic content of them doing actions of things and create it into something else, and then we also create kind of like our own content even using the creators on my team, kind of like green screened into different things. So we've tried and done, we've hired videographers, we've done a lot of different things, and um, we've gotten a lot of different types of content in that way. As far as wins go, our clients definitely get customers off of TikTok, with people saying like, "Oh, we see your videos all the time. That's why we had to call you." Two of our clients have been approached by reality TV producers, who were looking for people in their industry on TikTok and were able to find them. We had a client get asked to speak on a very large stage, at one of their industry events about why they decided to utilize TikTok in their marketing strategy. And we also, darn it, I just lost my train of thought. Um, Anyways, I know what I was going to say. We started running ads for one of our clients using TikTok, and they're very, very low budget ads, but they're super targeted right in their area. And their most recent feedback on that is that they've become famous in their area. And when they go out to dinner, people are like, "Oh, you show up on our TikTok all the time. We always see you guys." So I think that there has been a ton of wins from them utilizing this platform, and it's allowed them to really stand out amongst their peers and in their community.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's like I always like to hear how people can use these platforms to their advantage, and whether you're hyper local or at a national or even international level, this is definitely something that you can and should latch onto because it could be a really great way to showcase your brand, showcase what your product can do, and really just help get the word out there. So I'm really excited
Totally.
about it. I'll admit that I'm still not creating videos just yet, right? But I'm sure my girls are going to help me do that at some point. So that's really great.
You're
Thank you so
already
much for sharing.
creating video. You just need to now, repurpose the content into your TikTok.
Amazing, amazing. That's one of the things that like once you grab this, like the download of this video, right? You can just repurpose it
Yeah.
into, into 20, 30 different pieces of content. So that should definitely be something on just about everybody's radar, especially if you're creating content like this simply by going live. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Jen, can you please let everyone know how they can learn more about your company and how they can reach out to you directly?
Yeah, so definitely find me on TikTok. My handles are the same on every social platform, Keyheart Marketing, which is KEEHART marketing. I also have a website, of course. You can see some of our case studies with our TikTok clients and social media clients in general. And that again is keyheartmarketing.com. But of course, follow me on TikTok. I talk about all things marketing your business on TikTok. I also love to be on Instagram. You can catch me in the stories and in reels, of course. And then I do have a LinkedIn that I am fairly active on as well. If you would like some more tips and video hooks and things about TikTok, I have an email and a freebie that I can send to you as well.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that and for being here today. It's always a lot of fun to nerd out on this stuff, especially when it's,
Great.
when it's, when it's actual, when it's something that you can implement, that you can implement today. So I really
Oh, yeah.
appreciate you. I really appreciate you taking the time to break this down for us. And it's been really great having you on the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.